said, all I want to do is get out, get married, didn't want to be rich, just a little house of fun, and raise my children and grow old with my kids. That is the biggest thing that I shot for. And so far I was blessed to have that.
Well, back in 1968, I received a letter from the military indicating that my friends and neighbors had selected me to serve in the armed forces. I was drafted.
I walked through the door myself, you know, kind of not knowing, you know, 19 years old, I don't know, green to the world, you know, naive.
And I decided after 2 years to go career, which I did, and I had hoped to go to Japan. I just felt that if I went there, I could do more. Well, my assignment came, and it was to Sumter Vietnam, which is right outside of Saigon.
The whole class before us in AIT, they went to Germany. And we all thought that, you know, we were going to go too, but we all got orders for Vietnam. So, you know, kissed my girlfriend at the time, you know, goodbye, and, you know, I'll be back, you know. Hugged my mother and dad and told them, you know, I'll be fine, you know, no problem.
You know, young, you know, I want to see some action, see some action. Young fellas come in, stand down, they said, "Bo, let me tell you something, you better stay here, because it's nice here." I said, "I don't know, I want to go." So it was about September. There it was. They sent me out to the 101st out there in the jungle, Charlie Company, 2nd 50 Deuce, 101st Airborne Division. Now I feel good. I went out there, you know, and looked around, and it was like another world. The whole Vietnam is like another world. It's like, it's not real.
After I got there, the lieutenant who was our platoon leader came up and looked at the 3 new guys that had come in the same day, and he said, "I need a volunteer to carry the machine gun." And he looked straight at me and said, "You'll do." I guess I was a bigger one in the group, so naturally he wanted me to carry the gun. So my situation there in Vietnam at that point changed drastically from anything I'd ever known before. We went out into the jungle, setting up ambush sites and waiting for the enemy to come along and spring the trap.
And however, my company, we stayed out and went into the Ashau Valley and up into the mountain areas up there, which is a hard job because those mountains are not like the ones we have here. Because of the monsoon, they're very sharp and drop-offs and stuff. That's very hard to climb. We stayed up there for about, I don't know, 7 months, 6 months or something like that. And they pulled us out because of the tip down south where we're running fire bases.
They told me water supply, what do I know, you know. Engineers, you know, it wasn't infantry, so I thought I was safe. You know, lo and behold, you know, it wasn't to be.
Something that was quite strange and different for me, because I was not the kind of person that liked to go camping on a regular basis. But we had these long periods of time when sometimes it would be 2 weeks, sometimes it might be a month. And lots of times we didn't get to change clothes. We wore the same uniform for weeks at a time. And if you got a bath, it would be in a river or a stream somewhere, or perhaps even a bomb crater on occasion. We'd take a bath. But that was the closest we had to anything as far as regular hygiene.
Biggest thing I had experience with was mosquitoes. Mosquitoes were so thick, not unless you was up in a high elevation, but the mosquitoes were so thick you couldn't hardly breathe. We had insect mosquito repellent, but it's like they would just drink that. And it was very, very filthy, feces floating everywhere. We'd get up on the graves at night and sleep because they had a few graves there, and we'd get up on them and sleep to get out of the water.
So at night, I could see the choppers come, and I'd see these rounds coming down from the sky. It looks like a red line straight down. I'm saying to myself, how in the world is somebody going to get up and fight, you know, after all of this? You know, this fire probably going to win and go back home in 2 days. It's going to be over. Little did I know,
And of course, you have all these mixed emotions going through your mind at that point. You don't know how to take this. I mean, you've seen people in your past as a young person at a funeral home, you know, deceased. But seeing somebody laying in the bushes, killed and maimed and torn apart is totally a different picture.
It was the most challenging nursing experience I had ever had, and I'll have to tell you, it still is to this day. I've never had in all, well, I've been a nurse for 51 years. I have not had a better assignment and learned more and experienced more than I did in that 12 months.
One morning we were going down the highway, and they were all on the back of it, and I saw they was Claymore mines set up on both sides of the road, and they exploded. And these guys in the whole back of that 3/4 ton truck just went everywhere. And that was pretty scary.
Yeah. And he came up there, he wanted to walk point. See, he used to like that stuff. He liked point. I said, no, man, I walk point because he didn't have about 2 weeks. 2 weeks to go before you go home. And he told me, no, I want to walk point. He said, because I want one more. He be crazy, man. So you get on back to the back, I'll rank you. I said, oh, okay then. Okay. So I went to the back of the car and moved out, and dog, if he went maybe about 300 feet, and all hell break loose.
You know, when you get in there first, you sort of feel sorry for the people because there's a lot of Vietnamese that just want to be left alone. They just want to run their farm, raise their family. But then the NVA would move in and beat them and do all kinds of stuff, make them dig trenches and holes and all that stuff. And then we would come in and we would push them, shove them, and make them cover it all back up.
You know, went to bed that night, and for some reason I decided not to sleep in the same bunk. I switched, and instead of my head being where my feet were, you know, I switched my feet that way. Around 2:52 in the morning is when the rockets started coming in. One hit, and you can feel the ground shake, you know, and then this bright light. I've never saw a light that bright in my life. It knocked me back up against the wall, and I could see about 10 feet from me this soldier, and they picked him up. Years later, when I came back, I found out that there were 22 of us hit that night. One was killed. He's buried over in Arlington National Cemetery.
But on casualty staging, once the individual is stabilized and they're planning on coming back to the States, they come into us, and we air-evac anywhere from 75 to 150 patients twice a day.
And several times we got pinned down, and when you get dirt thrown in your face from somebody shooting at you, you get a different attitude.
I don't know why, but it happened. It's something about over there. You get out there and you stay out there in the jungle long enough, your mind starts seeing things and telling you things that you don't even know. Like, for example, I walked, making a sweep. It was real thick. And I said, man, I'm tired of this mess. I said, I'm going to walk. So I got up, walk some. As soon as I said, get down and crawl, because it's close. It's close, I said. Me and Bones, we side by side, you know. I got out, crawled. I said, man, I can't crawl through this mess. I'm going to walk. I said, ain't nothing out there, man. And after a while, I walked a little piece. My mind said, get out. Get out. I got out, crawled. Then again, I said the same thing. Get out. I got out. I bet you I didn't crawl 20 feet. All hell break loose. Me, I'm here, Bones like about right here, about 3 feet apart. And the first thing he yelled out, oh God, I'm here. I look over there, I was directly in front of those 3 NBA. I'm in front of them. It was thick jungle. But I could see them through the bushes from the mother flash for knocking the bushes back like that. I could see them. And I look at my buddy Bone, and he said, "Oh God, I'm hit." He grabbed his face and rolling over.
And we were in a position where we knew the enemy was there close by, but we didn't know exactly where they were. Later on, we learned that they were in a bunker complex, and there was a whole battalion of North Vietnamese regular soldiers there waiting for us. And my captain that morning chose me to take a squad down and check out the area. And we moved down the side of the hill in the bushes and got down to look and listen to see what we might come up on. And shortly after I got down on the ground, an explosion went off to my left in a tree. And I do not know if it was a mortar round or artillery round or what it might have been, but nevertheless, the explosion created a lot of shrapnel that apparently ricocheted off the tree, and from the bomb burst or whatever it was, you know, it hit several of us at the same time. And at that point, I was more seriously wounded and had to be carried out on a stretcher. Actually, we didn't have a stretcher, we had a poncho. So they put me on a poncho and more or less drug me up the hill. I was placed on a medevac helicopter and flown to a regional area hospital. And there I underwent surgery, not knowing whether I was going to wake up with my legs still intact or not.
But when I got hit, didn't know it. You know, I got out of that barracks, jumped down. Later, I found out I fractured the foot, you know, plus all the shrapnel all up in my leg. Didn't really know, you know, that I was hit. So I went over to a ditch, laid down with a bunch of other guys, and he looked at me and said, "You know, you're bleeding, you know." I went to get up, couldn't walk, you know, and carried me back to the aid station.
A couple of miles after we started going, we got hit. My track got hit, because like I said, I was the first one, first vehicle. And they hit us with a RPG. Right. And then it hit the door. It penetrated the door. The shrapnel went everywhere. And at that time, I threw my arm up like this reason I got right here, all up here. And I threw my arm like this to block my face.
Now, ain't nothing there but bushes and little trees, and the bullet just cutting them down, knocking dirt up in your face and everything. And I remember right directly behind me was a rock. I mean, there's no cover there, but I remember the little rock, something like this, about 3 feet, about this tall. But most of it is under the ground. So, all right. By me backing up, now I'm gonna tell you, I ain't tell nobody no lie. The first time I ever low crawled back was that fast. And I'm gonna tell you, I love my head. My chin would plowing in the dirt. I wouldn't pick my head up. But McDonald said, "Keep your head and your ass down and you make it." And I back up, and I got behind that little rock. And man, you talking about hell. Now they yell, "Pull back." I can't pull back. I'm looking at them. I can't pull back. So everybody pulled back, left me up in there by myself. And boy, it got so, it's just like a feeling you ain't never had before. You by yourself, 3 to 1. What you gonna do? And I mean, they've been working me over. So what I did, I tried throwing grenades. And I'm gonna tell you how close they was. If you lay down on this floor, flat on your face, and you take a grenade and pop it, and then you cook it, how far can you throw that grenade? I mean, flat on your stomach, how far can you throw it?
5 to 10 feet.
Through bushes.
Not very far.
That's what I'm saying. Well, that's what I was doing. I cook them. Every time I pull one out, I cook it. You know, hold it, let the spoon fly, and then hold it for 1,000, 2,000, throw it. And then you do it nut. And they was in a big kind of like a nail in the front and come around on the side. And boy, after a while, I've been shooting. Every now and then I take that M16 up, it's real light. Take it up. pull it back down. Then pull a frag, let it go. And then I felt something sting, you know, like, it felt like somebody take a rubber band and pop you. Pow. And you know, I think it was a bush. I meant to move my arm like that, and I saw blood on the leaf. I said, oh my goodness, I must be hit. I hollered for the medic. The medic told me, he said, come over here to me.
I found out real fast that while I was in service, because I was a target, just a walking target is all you were. And I found out that your life is not a very good career being a walking target. I didn't see where there was any longevity there.
Like I say, I got wounded August the 17th, 1969.
How old were you, Chase?
20.
20 years old.
He sent me back home. He sent me to Alaska, then to Andrews Air Force Base in Maryland, where I called home, and he said, well, where are you? And I said, I'm back here in Maryland. So we just sent you away.
I think that everybody would agree, and I know most everybody here is Army, but you're a family, and the world it gets smaller because we have each other.
Of course, the emotional part of the Vietnam situation stayed with me for quite a while, and used to have repeated nightmares and flashbacks. You know, when you hear a helicopter fly over, you start to notice, and you think about things that happened in the jungle.
People make you mad. You see, it's like, when you got back home, right now, you done train, that's all in your mind. Oh, yeah, kill or be killed, kill or be killed. And now I get ready to come back home, then you got to hit the switch and cut it off. Now, see, it ain't that easy.
I think one thing it did for me was I sort of grew up over there. You know, really kind of learned what life was all about, and you know, took life more serious than I did previously. Then you learn to appreciate your family more, everything. I mean, you realize how blessed you are, even. And then, you know, I'm proud to have served, you know, in the armed forces.
Didn't really want to get into the dress green uniform. You know, no one was really cared about us. And got back home as quick as I could and took it off. You know.
It changed my thinking a whole lot about life itself. You know, like, don't take it for granted because, you know, it's something, you treasure life. It's not but a one-time thing. And once you lose it, you can get it back.
And as far as my military experience, I'm proud of my service. I wouldn't really want to go live in the jungle again for an extended period of time, but if necessary, I'd be ready to go and serve.